Welcome back students to the last portion of this particular presentation, that is Indian Ethos and Management from the module 6. So let's continue with the presentation. Now we will talk about the managerial effectiveness under Indian Ethos and Management. It has been differentiated with the Western management thought and Indian ethos. So the basis of difference, the Western management thoughts and management based on Indian ethos that has been described. First of all is the belief. The Western management believes in production, productivity, profit at any cost, whereas management based on Indian ethos believes in material gain with belief in achieving human and social welfare also. Guidance. The Western management thought is guided by mind only, led away by ego and desire, and soulless management. Management by consciousness, power beyond mind, that is soul. Interiorized management, that is all is about the Indian ethos. In the Western management, the emphasis is on worker development, management of others, profit maximization, human being given only lip sympathy, and there is no internal sympathy for them. But Indian ethos believes in the development of man, integrated growth, harmony, happiness, and health, and management of self. The tools used by Western management are the 5 M's as men, money, materials, machine, and market. Science and technology information are used for decision making. Whereas men, machine, materials, and methods as conscious partners are being used in Indian management thought, all having consciousness whether manifested or dormant. Information and intuition for decision. Ethics and values are combined with the skills. So it's not only the men and machine and material which are being used, it's also the ethics and values which are combined with these skills. Further the differences are the problem solving approach for the Western management is by negotiation, compromise, arbitration, liquidation of differences, and it is only for a temporary period. No reference to higher consciousness. But Indian thoughts are conflict resolution through integration and synthesis, on stressing superordinate to common goals so that enduring harmony and unity is assured. Self-introspection, stepping back, aids the search for solution. In Western management, the decision making is done by brainstorming, or which is called roundtable approach, but it is done by brain stilling in Indian ethos, or maybe entering the room of timeless silence. Development in Western management thought is of physical, vital, and mental only. Soul or spirit is ignored. Material development only, even at the cost of man and nature. Integrated development or whole man approach, where control and meditation is emphasized in Indian ethos. Human enrichment and total qualities are priority. Approach is external behavior, mental, material, selfish, and only soulless. Whereas Indian ethos are working towards noble attitudes, inner guidance, team spirit, total harmony, and global good. So these are all about the differences between the Western and Indian thoughts. There are few business ethos principles practiced by Indian companies. So basically, these Indian companies are guided by certain rules of conduct in the form of ethical and moral standards. Some of the business ethos principles practiced by Indian companies are listed below. Principle of sacrifice. An individual is trained by the principle of sacrifice through the process of give and take policy. A person who is willing to sacrifice part of his bread or effort commands a superior place in the organization. Then next is the principle of harmony. An individual is trained in such a way such that to avoid conflicts and friction, one should be guided by certain set of moral conducts and principles. Principle of non-violence. This principle protects an organization from strikes and lockouts and unnecessary avoidable conflicts. The next is principle of reward. The one who performs well are encouraged to do so. This implies that the activities of individuals need to be monitored, and encouragement in the form of rewards may cultivate the spirit of high productivity among groups. The principle of justice. The one who works hard is rewarded, and the one who fails to do so is punished. This is essence of the principle of justice. Principle of taxation. The one who is taxed more is encouraged to stay fit for a longer period by proper appreciation and encouragement. This principle applies to individuals who are hardworking and productive. Principle of integrity. An integrated mind is more productive. Groups are encouraged to stay united in order to reap the benefits of division of labor. So these are basically all the principles of the business ethos. Then next is application of Indian ethos to management. So this earlier also we have studied, and that is where All the Indian ethos or the principles are application, and we give due importance to virtues like compassion, honesty, and cooperation. Then the next topic is the teaching from major Indian scriptures, that is the Vedas, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita. The Vedas, as you all know, they are four out there: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, and Atharveda. The primary thought in the Vedas is a mystic conception of the universe. The whole effort of the Veda is directed towards one goal: to achieve union of the individual self in the world self. Then next is Upanishads. The Vedanta seeks to know the ultimate reality and the cause behind everything. In this pursuit, it seeks to detach from the Maya and the material world and unite with Brahman. So basically, we are seeking for unity with immaterial world. Bhagavad Gita. It is a poem which depicts lessons on spirituality and ethics through a dialogue between Lord Krishna and the warrior Arjun, who is at a great crisis of his life. The Karma Yoga, Samkhya, Bhakti Yoga, and the notion of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, have very important implications in the context of ethical leadership, decision making, and management, which we will discuss subsequently. So, let us move forward with the further scriptures. The next is the Ramayana. It depicts the duties of relationships, portraying ideal characters like the ideal father, ideal servant, ideal brother, the ideal wife, and the ideal king. Apart from this, the Ramayana also teaches how the temptation for lust can bring a powerful and well established man's doomsday. So, you all might be watching the Ramayana, which has been recently shown on the Doordarshan due to the current crisis. So, that is what is being depicted in the Ramayana. Buddhism. The founder of this school was Gautam Siddharth, who later became Lord Gautam Buddha. The Buddhism is based on the Four Noble Truths. Suffering exists. There is a cause of the suffering. Suffering can be eradicated. There is a means for eradication of that suffering. Buddha establishes that everything on the earth is non-permanent and nothing on earth is self. Hence, everything on this earth is anatta or not self. Finally, Buddha taught the Eightfold Path to liberation from all suffering. Next is Patanjali Yoga. It represents a form of personal discipline where we integrate the body and the soul and the individual self or the Atma with the universal self, the Brahman. According to Patanjali, yoga is the control of the modifications of the mind. It is the mind that leads to or to liberation, that most human problems are mental, and that the only remedy to solve them is mental discipline. So, yoga is a very important task right now nowadays to stay healthy. So, do practice yoga regularly and control yourself and be in mental discipline. Now, the next is quality of work life and Indian ethos. So, why should we work basically? What is there to work and how to work and what are the spirits of work? So, why to work is to purify my mind and heart and to become wise, to provide public benefit. What is there to work? So, this is to nurture each other. My work is for yagna or sacrifice. I develop the spirit of sacrifice. It is a worship of the divine. How to work? With the spirit of renunciation, that is tyag, and to serve others. I must work without self-interest. Spirits of work. We should have excellence in work, perfection in work, and quality of output. So thank you so much, students. You might have understood the Indian ethos in management, and that is where all these rules right now are very important, and I think the world is now moving more towards Indian management thoughts rather than Western management thoughts because of the current crisis situation. So do take care and learn all the aspects very perfectly. Thank you so much.